What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I've got some absolutely insane battles to show you guys in the Summer Cup. Now, I have been away from YouTube for a few days and I apologise for that, but I am back now, so do not worry, I'm perfectly fine. I took a short break just because I was having a bit of a creator's block, I guess. You guys know that I'm very proud of bringing you some unique teams and Pokemon, and I kind of just didn't really have any ideas, so there was no point in me just putting out some mediocre content. I really want to bring the best that I can to the channel, so I just took a short break and I came up with this team that worked really well and is still working well for me now, and I'm going to go into detail about that now. So I'm actually running a team consisting of 3 Pokemon that I've not seen any of my opponents use in the Summer Cup, and that is Salazzle, Chesnaught and Breloom. So we've got a double grass and fighting ABB style team. We got Salazzle in the lead and we're actually running Poison Jab instead of Incinerate, and the reason for that is just to have some better matchups up against the fire types, because of course we do have 2 grass types in the back. But then we're also running Smackdown on Chesnaught, and that is specifically to trap Talonflames that think they're coming into an easy matchup to just completely farm down, but actually we're going to be the ones farming them down. We can safely one shield farm down a Talonflame that comes in, and we'll have a ton of energy to throw into whatever comes in after that. So Chesnaught, really nice with the Smackdown there. A lot of opponents aren't expecting it. And then finally we've got Breloom in the back running counter Seed Bomb Dynamic Punch. And with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. Which Pokemon do you sometimes run with an unusual fast move to catch your opponents off guard? So for example, this could be the Salazzle with the Poison Jab, or especially the Chesnaught with the Smackdown. Let me know in the comment section below. Just to interrupt quickly, just before I started editing this video, I went on an insane 20-5 run with this team, and the craziest thing is that I didn't even see a single Talonflame in those matches. So of course the team was built to trap Talonflame, but it still does extremely well even when you do not see it in the meta at all. And I think I gained over 200 elo, and if you'd like to see these battles as well, then make sure you leave a like on this video, and if we get 100 likes within the first 24 hours of this video being live, then I will upload a second video. And let me just say that Breloom really shined in those battles, so if you want to see that, then make sure you leave a like. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle here, we lead Salazzle into Stunfisk. This is not good. We're going to switch into the Chesnaught. My opponent is thinking about what to do, and then they come in with the Talonflame, and this is absolutely perfect. They do get to the Flame Charge just before we're able to farm them down, but that's fine. We'll shield this once, and then we're able to smack down before the next Incinerate comes through. They come in with a Trevenant. We're going to go for the Energy Ball here. We get a shield from the opponent, and we're able to get a defense drop as well, so that is perfect. I'm going to let this go through. Seed Bomb doesn't take us out, so I'm able to get to a second Energy Ball, and we're in a really good position here. It is resisted, but because of the defense drop, we're able to do massive damage there. They come back in with the Stunfisk. I come in with Breloom. Breloom is extremely squishy, but luckily Stunfisk doesn't hit very hard with these Mud Bombs and Thunder Shocks, so we tank 2 of them there, and we're going to go for a CMP tie here with their third charge move. Are they going to shield it up? Yes they are, but that's fine. We can shield this and we should be able to outpace them to the next charge move. So we're going to go for it here, and it's a CMP tie once again. Seed Bomb is a pretty rubbish move, but we take out the Stunfisk. I can switch into the Salazzle, Poison Jab, farm them down, and I'm able to take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Swampert, so not a good lead at all. I switch into the Chesnaught. Unfortunately, I'm met with a Noctowl. Now, this isn't as good matchup as the Talonflame, but I'm able to go for a superpower here, and it's a CMP tie, so that is probably the best case scenario for us here, as the Sky Attack takes us out and the Noctowl doesn't have any residual energy. So I'm going to come in with the Salazzle here, go for a full Poison Jab farm down. We wouldn't be able to do that with Incinerate, so that is perfect. I let the Sky Attack go through. Honestly, Salazzle is kind of dead weight here. They come in with Vigoroth. Maybe I should have gone for the Poison Fang bait. We get a shield from my opponent. Now can Breloom 2v1 this team here? We do have positive type matchups against both Pokemon, but these counters are doing massive damage, and I go for the charge move here before they get to the next body slam. And my opponent lets it go through, and maybe that was a mistake by me. Maybe I should have tried to counter them all the way down. Hydro Cannon takes us out, and we did have a shield there, but I knew that the Swampert was going to be able to outpace us. So unfortunately, we're not able to win that game. Maybe if I went for the Poison Fang, I could have taken out the Vigoroth before it got to the next charge move. But anyways, into this next matchup, they come in with Cradilly here. Now I come in with the Chesnaught Breloom, would be better, but I'm thinking that they're trying to bait out some kind of counter user, so I'm actually going to leave the Breloom in the back, and we'll see how that decision pans out. But here we're going for the superpower up against the Cradilly. We take him out, and I'm expecting the Venusaur to come back in. And it does, and we're going to be able to get to a superpower here just before we go down. And this is resisted, but it does a nice chunk of damage considering it was already debuffed. I can come in with Salazzle, easily tank any move. Well, I say easily, not that easily, because Salazzle is very glassy. But they switch, catch a move on the Crustle. That's perfectly fine by me, and I'm actually just going to shield once, fully counter down this Crustle. We are resisting the smackdowns, whereas these are neutral and also defense debuffed counters there. So we go for a Seed Bomb here. We're actually able to get a shield from this Venusaur. We're going to go for another one. It is double resisted, but it doesn't matter. If we land one, then we can easily Poison Jab, farm them down, and so that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll no shield this Frenzy Plant, takes me out. I could have no shielded this if I wanted to, but I do have a shield, so I might as well use it. I'm able to Poison Jab, farm down the Venusaur, and I'm able to take that game. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm wearing these sunglasses, Ganetto called me out to wear them in my next Summer Cup video, because there is the Summer Cup, and I think he said that Though Technical wore them in his video, and it gave him the idea to do it and to call out other players. But anyways, we led into this Pidgeot. We actually let them take us out, but I come in with the Smackdown user here, and now things aren't looking too great, but I'm able to get to the Energy Ball here before they throw a charge move, and we land it, which is exactly what we needed. I'm gonna no shield this and hope that it's just a Seed Bomb, which it is, which is perfect, and as well they throw straight away, so that's the best case scenario for me. I'm gonna come in with Breloom. My opponent doesn't want to get farmed down, and they come in with the Obstagoon here, and that's absolutely perfect. I can safely shield this, and I'm gonna be able to counter down this Trevenant as well, and I'm able to take that game. My opponent still had 2 shields, but they couldn't have been expecting a Breloom in the back, so I'm able to take that. Into the next game, we lead into an Obstagoon. So I'm actually going to switch and catch the expected Night Slash. These battles were before Obstagoon Community Day, but I have used the team since then, and I still play it out exactly the same. Unfortunately, we're met with Venusaur here, so it is a decent answer to the Chesnaught, but Superpower still does a lot of damage. I'm just going to no-shield this. There's no point in shielding anything. Frenzy Plant doesn't take me out, which is unfortunate because they get more farm there, and as well they have less health for me to farm down. But I can tank a Sludge Bomb, but that still does so much damage, it's crazy. I switch into Breloom, I'm doing massive damage with my counters. I'm going to shield this up. I have no idea what could be in the back, and it's actually a Noctowl, so I'm thinking my opponent probably predicted that I had 2 things weak to flying in the back, but we land the Dynamic Punch, and that does so much damage that now we're going to be able to Poison Jab, farm them down, and once again another game where my opponent still had 2 shields remaining. Please do shield up in some of these matchups. See there, we went 4-1. That was my first set running this team, and now I'm just going to show you a few random battles here. So we lead into a Swampert, and once again we're able to bait out the Talonflame, and things are working perfectly. I'm going to shield this up, and I will come out with an Energy Ball and a little bit more energy to throw into whatever comes in next. And they come in with a Wigglytuff, which is fine by me. I'm just going for the Energy Ball. I actually kind of want to leave the Wigglytuff with a little bit of farm here, so I can Poison Jab, farm them down, come out with a Poison Fang. I'm going straight for it. There's no reason to build up to a Dragon Pulse here. I want them to let it through because now I can come in with Breloom, and you already know that I'm going to be winning another game with my opponent still having 2 shields remaining, because I'm just going to be able to counter farm them down here. And yeah, that was one thing about this team. Not many people expected the Breloom. The Poison Fang combination with the counter damage is really, really nice. So into the next game, we lead into a wall rain. So this is typically a decent matchup here because my opponent is just going to go for an icicle spear. This is resisted, so I do not need to shield it. They come in with a, I didn't actually see what that was, a charger bug or charge bug. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but they're going to go for a move here. It is just an X-Scissor, but I'm thinking that I can poison jab all the way down, and I'm able to, which is perfect. And now I'm thinking that maybe they're running some sort of ABB style team. So we're going to go for the Poison Fang here and then instantly switch into Breloom here. And I get the wall rain extremely low, which is perfect. I'm just going to no shield this. Icicle Spear takes out the Breloom. But I'm going to come back in with the Salazzle, and I'm predicting maybe a Galvantula or a Vikavolt, and it is a Galvantula, so that is perfect. That is a good prediction there, as I'm going to come in with the Chesnaught. I'm resisting these Volt switches. I will shield up the lunge. It won't do too much damage, but I can easily smack down, farm down here, and then I'm going to go for one more smackdown and take out the wall rain there, and I'm easily able to take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Talonflame. So the way I play this is I usually go for 7 poison jabs, go for the Poison Fang. We pretty much always get a shield here, which is nice. And then I'm going to go for one more poison jab as they throw. They pretty much always throw instantly, which is perfect. And now I'm going to switch into the Chesnaught. I'm able to fully farm them down, and that's usually because opponents running the Talonflame in the lead don't have a good answer to the Chesnaught, and my opponent doesn't either. They try to catch the energy ball, but I wasn't going to throw straight away. I go for a superpower, I get a shield from my opponent. My opponent throws just before the second superpower, and that's perfectly fine with me. I'm going to let it go through. I come in with a Salazzle. I throw the Poison Fang on the CMP tie here with the Weather Ball. Weather Ball is resisted, but it would do a lot of damage. And now I can go for a Poison Fang here. My opponent gets to a charge move, but we do resist everything apart from the Hydro Pump. So we double resist the Play Rough there, and we're easily able to tank it. I get to a Poison Fang here, and at this point, I don't even need to get to a charge move on my Breloom. I can just counter, farm down the Azumarill, and I'm able to take that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Crustle. This is not a good lead, so I'm going to switch out into the Chesnaught here. My opponent stays in for a while, and they switch into Beedrill, and now this is the Zionic triple bug team, which is going to be kind of difficult, especially the Beedrill. The Poison Jab is super effective to 2 of my Pokemon, and as well I only have the Poison Jab on my Salazzle, so it's not going to be super easy to take this out. Going to come in with the Salazzle here. They're able to get to a charge move just before I reach my Poison Fang, and they do bait me with the X-Scissor. I wasn't keeping track of their energy, so I do throw the Poison Fang here just to be safe, and we're able to take out the Beedrill. I come in with the Breloom here. We kind of have to let this go through because actually, they just go for a Rock Blast, which is ideal. They come in with Galvantula. We have a higher attack stat, so I'm going for the Dynamic Punch on the CMP tie here. Do they let it go through? They do not, and unfortunately, we're just going to have to no-shield this, let the Breloom go down. I come in with the Salazzle. My only play here is to completely farm down this Galvantula. They go for the lunge. Obviously, that's going to debuff me, and I'm not able to take him out there. And unfortunately, the Crustle still had a ton of health, so they're able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, into an Ariados lead. And we do resist everything that they can throw, but they come in with an Oranguru, and I did not expect to see this. The whole team is weak to confusion, so this is not good at all. I'm going for the Poison Fang here, and then I'm going to come in with Breloom. Unfortunately, the confusion takes out the Salazzle, and we're not in a good position here. I'm going to obviously shield this up. It's probably just a foul play. It is resisted, but that's fine. I go for the Seed Bomb straight away. I really don't want to take any more confusion damage, and I'm able to take out the Oranguru. My opponent comes back in with the Ariados, so I come in with the Chesnaught here. I'm going to no-shield this as the Chesnaught is tankier than Breloom. I get to a superpower here just before the next cross poison, and my opponent actually shields it, so I'm wondering what on earth could be in the back. But I'm going to no-shield this here and then go for a counter farm down. These counters are double resisted, so I'm really hoping it's something like an Obstagoon or maybe a Vigoroth. And unfortunately, it's a Crustle. We go for the Dynamic Punch here. This will do huge damage, but it's not enough to take him out. If they didn't debuff our attack there, I think we actually might have been able to win that game, but unfortunately we're not able to. So going into the next game here, obviously GG's to my opponent there, really well played. But we lead into a Trevenant. My opponent catches the Poison Fang on a Swampert, so a really nice catch there, but it means I can come in with the Breloom here. They go straight for the Hydro Cannon, which makes sense as they don't want me to throw my move first, but that just means I'm able to fully counter farm them down, go for a Seed Bomb here. This is resisted, but it will chunk the Trevenant, so we get a shield from my opponent. I guess as well we could be running Sludge Bomb, so it's a good shield by my opponent. I go for another Seed Bomb, and you see there that does so much damage even though it's resisted. I'm calling a Seed Bomb bait, and that's exactly what my opponent goes for. I can now tank another Seed Bomb, and then I'm going to instantly switch into the Chesnaught. I'm reading it's Wall Rain in the back, and that's exactly what it is, because you guys know that Trevenant doesn't really like to play without his best buddy Wall Rain, so I'm going to be able to shield both Icicle Spears here, get to the back-to-back superpowers, and I'm going to be able to take out this Wall Rain. So I go for one smackdown here, go for the first superpower, and then this should get the shield, and then I'm going to easily be able to get to another superpower and take out this Wall Rain and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead Salazzle into Obstagoon. Now, I actually saw this team composition quite a few times. I'm assuming that some kind of content creator made this team, but I don't know who did it, and unfortunately this team kind of just hard counters me. Obviously the Obstagoon isn't too difficult, but they have a double poison team in the back. With the Ariados here, we do shield the first move, and unfortunately it's a lunge, so bit of a misplay there. I really shouldn't have shielded that. They go for the cross poison and they take me out. So I'm going to come in with the Salazzle here. I'm going to farm up a ton of energy. We do resist everything once again, so I don't need to shield this. Lunge is double resisted. I'm going to go for the cross poison here. This will be taking out the Ariados. And my opponent is going to come back in with the Obstagoon. I get one counter onto the Obstagoon, but unfortunately they have a Tentacruel and there's just nothing I can do here. They're going to be able to shield once, completely farm me down with the poison jabs. And unfortunately, I know this is an acid spray, but I have to shield it up. I'm going to go for the Dragon Pulse here. This, I really hope I can take out this Tentacruel with the Dragon Pulse, but I'm not able to, and they get to another acid spray, and they're easily going to be able to take me out at this point and take that game. So GG's to that opponent. I just haven't found a way to beat that team yet, but going into the final battle here, we lead into a Pidgeot. Now I'm actually going to go for a Dragon Pulse here, as the last time I played this matchup, my opponent no shielded. But this time they do shield, and as well they're able to fully farm me down. So what I do is I come in with the Breloom here, expecting them to feather dance. I can speak, definitely. And then I switch into the Chesnaught, hoping to smack down, farm them down, but I'm not able to. Feather Dance actually doesn't KO. We live with 1 HP. They come in with Obstagoon. And now I'm thinking, why on earth are they staying in? I'm going to shield this up. It is a cross chop, and the reason is because they have a Crustal here. I'm going straight for the Dynamic Punch. We land it. It does so much damage that I'm able to farm them down, and now I'm going to be able to counter farm down the Obstagoon, and somehow I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And as well, if you are not subscribed yet, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, as there's going to be plenty more of awesome content like this. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we've got Cumalesis and Dibbo, who both have a 100% shiny Celebi, which is really cool. And as well, we've got the Babysitter, who also has a 100% Celebi. And reading through the comments, it looks like most people have their best IV mythical as a Celebi, which I guess kind of makes sense, as we have had 3 opportunities to catch it from research. Next we've got Vibev Tandle, who has a 100% IV Hooper, which is really cool. Definitely a unique one there. And finally, we've got Ethan Groff, who does have a 100% Zarude. Now this is probably one of the more useful mythicals to have as a hundo. Unfortunately, they only have it at level 40 right now, but if ever the Classic Cups do come back, then that's a really cool Pokemon to have. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.